Now we're going to stay stitch our neckline edge. I've already done one side. Stay stitching is done to prevent stretching on a curved edge. It's done 1/8 of an inch less than whatever your seam allowance is. So because we have a 5/8 inch seam allowance, I have done the stay stitching at a 1/2 inch. You start at the widest point and go to the middle with no back stitching. And then now I'm going to start on this side, widest part. I'm going to set it up for a 1/2 inch seam allowance and go to the middle. So this time, normally I would line it up and I always keep the bulk of my fabric to the left. But because I'm trying to start at the wide and go to the narrow end, I'm going to line up on this side with my needle stitch plate lining up on the other side. So it's really nice that you have guidelines on both sides, making it easy to follow. Again, you don't have to back stitch. You reduce your stitch length when you do stay stitching. So I have it turned down to about a 1.5 millimeter, and this is a reinforcement stitch. I stitch with the needle down so that as I'm going around the curve, if I need to lift up my presser foot and adjust, it's easy to do. And I'll just stitch around carefully because it is quite a dramatic curve on this little neckline edge, and I want to keep it within my 5/8 of an inch. When I get to the middle, you can overlap your stay stitching if you want, but do not back stitch because that creates extra bulk. So I'll just trim off my stitches, and now I'm ready to apply my neck interfacing to the main part of my garment. I'm going to take my neckline facing that I've already finished the edge, I've already applied the interfacing, and I'm going to put the right side of my garment and the right side of my neckline edge together. Now, when you cut this out, it was cut out on the fold, and you can just mark with a marking pencil that middle so that you make sure that you get it lined up, or you can fold your fabric and you can finger press that edge, and then you can easily get the middle of both pieces, line them up, and pin it together. So I'm going to pin my middle first. And now I'm not so worried about stretching out my fabric because I've already done that stay stitching and I've got that in place. I'm going to pin my edges together, and I'm going to sew these two pieces together with a 5/8 inch seam allowance.